Namaste, my beautiful queens, goddesses. There will be no cards in this video. I just want to talk about several subjects, and also I am making this video so you can have everything you need to find, in case you need to find this information, in the description box under this video. And several subjects I want to discuss now. I don't even know what to start with. First of all, I want you to clearly understand that when you are, because this is what mistake, not what mistake, what a wrong idea many of us have about those people who abuse us. If you are in abusive relationship, or you were in abusive toxic relationship with narcissists, with manipulators, or psychopath of all kinds, the thing is that when we start to read and research about those people, that kind of people, which we can call with one word manipulators. Those people manipulate. They manipulate, they wear masks, they use different kinds of manipulation. What is their goal? The only goal manipulators has is to receive from you what they want, to squeeze you dry. So it means that they use different methods of manipulation. And when we start to research, and you start to listen to the videos, and I'm gonna have all of them in the description box, because I wanted to make the my own research and give you the best tools to deal with it. So when you start listening to Dr. Ramani, or listening to Dr. Les Carter, or his videos on YouTube, on reading his books, or listening to his videos, we all understand very clearly certain tendencies for the manipulator. And here I'm not going to go into types of narcissists, types of manipulators, types of mixed type of narcissists, psychopaths, sociopaths, narcissists, sociopaths, so on. We're not going to go into that. The thing is, when you start reading the terrible stories of those people who had been victims, when we start listening to all these videos, we become terrified. We become so scared, because of those, if we can call them people, they cannot have three things which are the base of any healthy, kind relationship. They do not have empathy. They do not have compassion. They do not feel sorry. They do not have regrets, and they do not feel guilt. So whatever terrible things they do, first of all, they don't care of the victim they are using. Second, they don't feel sorry for what they are doing. And after it had been done, they do not feel no regrets. So you pretty much, if you were dealing with a man, because most of course it goes both ways, but because of certain psychological, emotional, and physical features, men tend to be more like that than women. So there would be much more men narcissists than women, but we cannot say there are no narcissistic women. Of course they are. And when we start reading about them, we become terrified. And what happens here? I will tell you something very important now, Queens. They do not have power over you unless you give them the power, because this is as simple as that. You are the one who has power, but because you don't know about it, you give power to them. Narcissist, manipulator, psychopath, they manipulate and wear masks because they are weak, because they envy the empath. They envy that you can feel. They envy that you can love. They envy that you can inspire others and be inspired. They envy for the light of your souls, because many people call them lost souls. And of course, if you start researching the sociopath, psychopath, unfortunately, there is the opinion that if you are a narcissist at age 20, 25, age 45, you're going to be a narcissist, psychopath. Of course, they are scary. But we are the ones which give them their power to terrify us, to destroy us, to humiliate us, to bring us to the point of being a shadow of ourselves. I told you many times that you can take the most successful, beautiful woman with career, with hobbies, with anything, who gets into the claws of a narcissist, psychopath. 2-3 years later, you will not even recognize her. It's going to be a shadow, shattered shadow. But you have to understand that you give them power by reacting to the manipulation. So what is another subject which unfortunately not many talk about? Narcissistic parents. Many cultures, they force it upon us that no matter what abuse you were taking as a child and growing up from both parents or one of parents, because it could not have been a physical abuse, but you could have been ignored, or you could have been made believe that everything is your fault. Or very, very often you can see it, a daughter or a son looks like his father, and mother had terrible experience with the father, and she constantly tells to the child, "Or you're like your father, you're exactly like your father." So she puts all the terrible things that father did onto this child, and you growing up believing you are worthless, believing everything is your fault, believing you have no talents, believing you can achieve nothing, believing that you must obey and be silent, or you were witnessing lots of ignorance or cold treatment or anything, because of course, there is a huge problem. And you can find a lot of videos talking narcissistic partner, lots of videos and lots of channels of professionals of the psychologist or clinical psychologist, but much less you can find being brought up by narcissistic parent. Narcissistic parent is a different category than narcissistic partner. Narcissistic parent can do a lot of things without actually meaning to make you miserable for the rest of your life, but you have to dig into it yourself. And narcissistic parents, unfortunately, being brought up by one narcissistic parent or by both of them, it is yes, it screws up a lot of things. But you can choose two ways. You can choose to be a victim, and you can get into little Cora and say, I was abused, I was humiliated, this is why I'm so miserable. And you can choose this, or you can choose another way. You can choose to get information, you can choose to get some knowledge, and you can choose to start pulling yourself out of it. Who becomes victims of narcissists, of manipulators? What is immunity? What is immunity for those type of people? You know that there are people who never, ever even met this type of personalities. They don't know what it is. But there are people who constantly get into narcissistic abusive relationship. Why? Why is that? Several things. It is the low self-esteem. It is the lack of self-love, lack of self-respect, lack of self-acceptance, childhood traumas, those things, and non-ability to set boundaries. You could be brought up by the mother and grandpa who told you constantly that you must be a good girl, you must be a good girl, you must be a good girl for everybody. They would consider a child is good only when child is silent and child just obeys, doesn't do anything else. So the personality of a child, of a girl, was suppressed. A lot of countries bringing up women like this. India, Arabic countries, suppressing the girl, suppressing. Why suppressing? If you take ancient cultures, the Vedic Empire, Great Tartaria, when it was believed that a woman is the one who possesses that sacred light, which she never loses the connection to the original source, to God, the energy of creation. Please don't confuse God's source, which I'm talking about, with any religions. I am never meaning religions when I say source. The God, the source, I never mean religions. Please don't confuse it. So a woman is the one who always, from her birth till her last breath in this incarnation, she possesses that sacred fire. And a boy, he must, with all possible means, protect her and cherish her and respect her and love her, whether mother, sister, wife, or a daughter, because without this sacred light which woman gives to a man doesn't have it. Woman inspires. In Vedic Slav great empire, Great Tartaria, a man would call a woman my soul, or a light of my soul, свет души моей, the light of my soul. And it's not a metaphor, they meant it. The light of my soul. This is how they called a woman. Because without that light, if a man would treat a woman wrong, he would be kicked out of the community. He would considered cursed by all the sources and forces and guides and keepers, because the woman holds it. And it was like this for thousands of years. And then the game changed, and a woman was proclaimed guilty because Adam was kicked out of heaven. So a woman they started to heavily suppress a woman's power and a woman's light. I cannot imagine people who don't know about Inquisition. Inquisition lasted almost 600 years. all over Europe and even in America. You just, even if you just possess beauty, let alone knowledge in herbs and healing, they were first torturing, you can look up on YouTube, torturing devices of Inquisition. They were first torturing and then they were burned at a stake. How they checked if a woman is not a witch, if she's not cursed and she's having communication with the devil, they would throw her in a river. They would tie her hands, her eyes, throw her into a river. And if she keeps on floating, she is a witch. She would be got out and burned. But if she's going to be sunk, then she's not a witch and then she's good. But she's dead now, but who cares? This all was done by church. Okay? For hundreds of years, Inquisition was a terror. 560 years, I believe. It's not 50 years, not 200, 500 and almost 600 years at time of Inquisition. Of course, a woman was any woman who would possess any gift, any beauty, anything at all. They could burn you at a stake. And this is how we were made to forget. And a lot of women do believe they are not just less than a man, but they are sinful, weak creatures. And they have to be constantly controlled by men so she doesn't do something wrong. This is a tragedy. And of course, how such a woman who have been brought up in an environment believing that she's less than nothing, she is a target of all kinds of psychopaths and narcissists. Because psychopath and narcissist is not an idiot. He sees the empath. He sees the depths of her soul, but he also, it's a predator. Narcissist, psychopath, manipulator. It's a predator. He sees the beautiful, shining soul. But he also sees that that beautiful, shining soul doesn't seem to know much about that shine. They prey on low self-esteem, low self-value, absence of self-love, absence of understanding how unique and beautiful you are. If you cultivate in yourself your self-value, then no psychopath, no narcissist cannot even approach you, because they are not stupid. They are like scanner. They read there that's not a victim. I'm not going to be able to do anything with her. Lots of you beauties asked me, okay, so I admit it. You write me, okay, Lala, I admit I have very low self-esteem. I was severely abused when I was growing up. I was through this. I was through that. I was physically abused. I was raped age 12 by my father. Believe me, girls, even such stories. The girl being raped by a father, you know what mother does? Mother says it's your fault. Horrific stories I hear. So you can tell me, Lala, yes, I admit I've been through so much that now I know that I have it. But what do? I don't have the money for therapy. Even when I say my beauties, you can go now, even Google it, affordable, free psychological help, affordable psychological help. You can get yourself a therapist anywhere in the world through Skype or Messenger, because it's not a big, right now it's not a big problem. But if you absolutely want to try to do it on your own, this is why I did my own research. And I looked through, I took several days for each one of those people which I'm going to recommend you, they are here on YouTube. Their videos are very, very easy to understand, but not only that, my goal was to find techniques, not just, for example, just a doctor, a psychologist who would explain you how you recognize narcissist or manipulator. But I also wanted to find those resources of information which would have actual tools for you to use in order to get yourself out of it. Because imagine, so what narcissists, what manipulators use? Narcissistic parents, manipulative narcissistic parents, or siblings. The thing is that this can be not necessarily even your partner. It could be partner, it could be your boss, it could be a friend, it could be your sibling. And also many of you asked, what if I have 4 kids with him and I absolutely cannot get out? What if you have narcissistic mother who constantly blames you and makes you feel guilty and makes you feel like you are not a good daughter? Because I already told you 3 magic buttons, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 magic buttons which manipulators use on you. I even wrote a little poem so you could remember it. Guilt, shame, blame. Guilt, shame, blame. This is how they make you feel the pain. Guilt, shame, blame. Guilt, shame, blame. So if someone is trying to press the guilt, the shame, the blame, this is done especially very often by narcissistic parents. Mom, I want to be a teacher. I always wanted to work with children. What do you mean you want to be a teacher? Your father is a lawyer, your grandfather is a lawyer, great-grandfather is a lawyer. You're only going to be a lawyer. But Mama, I hate this. I really want to be, oh, you ungrateful. I sacrificed my life for you. Your father, what your father would say. We were hoping that you will continue, the business of your parents. This is like, you are terrible daughter, you are terrible son, because you refuse to live your life the way you want it. You want to be a musician, they want you to become an accountant. You don't want to upset your parents, you go into accounting, you hate every second of your life. Narcissistic parents is a big issue and a big problem. This is why I also put the channels which you can find information, not just how to recognize it. No, my beautiful queens, my goal was to give you the source where you can find what to do. My most favorite, and really, I absolutely adore her, Dr. RAMANI, especially for you Indian girls. She's Indian. Not only it's a phenomenal knowledge, what I value in professionals, which is Russians or Slavic people are crazy about it. Usually what happens in America, you graduate that university, you start to work, and then you are done. You don't take any more books into your hand. Usually people stop at that. The thirst to knowledge and to development usually, I don't say all like this, but usually doesn't exist there. No, I admire this specialist which never stop learning, which keeps on digging, keeps on researching and adding to their skills. Dr. RAMANI, not only she's knowledgeable, she's very passionate, and not only she explains the tendencies and how you recognize manipulation and narcissistic manipulation, but how you behave with them. What are the tools for you to use if you can't get away from them? Of course, the best thing is to get away from them. But what if you cannot? Then how you build this wall, how you build yourself, and you just put your boundaries. You have to understand, as I said at the beginning of this video, you give them power over you by reacting. It's a reaction. They press guilt button on you, you react the way they want. Here you gave them the power. They press shame, you react, you give them the power. Imagine that if you did not react, then they would have nothing to do with you. You give them power, so simply do not give them power. And how do not to give them power is to learn to set boundaries and to cultivate in yourself self-worth, self-value, and self-respect. So Dr. RAMANI, you will find so many beautiful videos and explanation how to deal with parents, narcissistic siblings, narcissistic partners, narcissistic boss at work who just, guilt, shame, blame. You will find it. Her channel is linked here under this video. Rosenberg, absolutely amazing channel with lots of tools. He wrote a book which called Narcissistic Empath Narcissist Trap. Really lots of great videos explaining you what it is, what to do. Dr. Les Carter, also the link here. You can click each one of them. Please share. Girls, boys, please share. When you share such information, you no less but saving somebody's life. Dr. Les Carter, his channel called Surviving Narcissism, also the link here. Very interesting woman, Lisa Romano. She's a life coach, so she gives you lots of tools how to learn that self-respect, self-value, and how to set those boundaries. My favorite, the one I have spent hundreds of hours translating her information and research for you, Anna Boginskaya. Her channel, you will see the names of the video in English, but she speaks Russian. In a corner, in the bottom corner on the right corner, you can turn on subtitles. Her research is huge. She saved millions of people. Another great guy, Richard Grannon, another great woman, which a lot of working tools which will help you not just get out of it, deal with it, but recognize it and know how to behave and how to become the best, strongest, authentic self. Stephanie Lean, she's coaching. Also, I will put here my own videos which I filmed. I'm gonna put all of them here with this video in the description box. I'm not gonna put I'm gonna go when I upload it, I'm gonna turn off advertisement for this video. So please save it somewhere, download if you can, or save it in your phone, or save it in your liked videos, or save it somewhere so you have the access to these videos anytime. And I will maybe say something criminal from the point of view of religious people, but I never take into consideration what dark religions teach. You, like ancient people, great people who possess knowledge of life and universe, I told you already many times, you possess the sacred fire in you. And when you treat yourself wrong, means you consider you are worthless, you are not capable of anything, you are this, you are that. When you mistreat yourself, you mistreat God. Whatever God you believe, whatever you call God, Shiva, the source, Brahma, or whatever you call your God, you must understand that that sacred source, the part of God you worship, whoever it is, and you believe in, you are that part. As the ocean is God, and each wave possesses the same quality of the whole ocean. Same you. You and your God is one. When you yourself mistreat yourself, you mistreat your God. But when you allow someone, no matter who, treat you wrong, you let someone treat your God you believe in with all your essence wrong. So if you believe in God, you must understand that you and your God is one, not separate, but one essence. You cannot separate the ocean from the waves. Waves are not separate from the ocean. The same way you are not separate from divine source. So when you let yourself mistreat yourself, you mistreat the God. But when you let somebody do it to you, you let them mistreat God. So become what you originally always have been. You are eternal and immortal essence. You are immortal. You've lived hundreds and thousands of lives. You have your unique shine and unique light. You came to shine that light. So shine. And all the videos you will find helpful is in the description box under this video. Wishing you all the best. Namaste.